Hello friends and welcome back to my channel, Blue Nose Trading. My name is Tori Solis and today I'm going to be working with a special low-fire mica clay from New Mexico clay. This clay is mined in the Manzano Mountains and is naturally micaceous. New Mexico clay blends this clay with some additional minerals for added function. Above 1500 degrees, the mica mostly burns out of this clay body, so thus this is a low-fire clay body. I do not normally work with low-fire clay bodies, but it was hard to pass up on gold sparkles. So shiny. This clay is thick and not plastic at all. It's extremely crumbly. For this reason, this clay is not a great throwing body. This clay feels strange in your hands. I can only personally describe the feeling as dry, soft, almost velvety, though it was not a sensation I personally enjoyed. The gold mica flecks got on nearly everything in my studio, although it doesn't really matter. I'm usually working at cone 6, so any flecks that stuck to any unauthorized work burned off in the glaze firing, but for a while I would have random sparkles throughout my bisqueware. Traditionally, this clay was worked by indigenous peoples with hand building techniques such as coiling and burnishing. I did not do either of those things today. I rolled the clay into slabs using a slab roller for some slab-built bonsai pots. To be totally honest, I do not like hand building at all. Rolling out slabs and connecting them together, fussing with straight lines and measurements, it's the worst for me personally. When I sit down to do any sort of hand building, I find that I would like to be literally anywhere else. That said, hand building is about the only way to work with this clay, so here we are. It's important to know what you don't like. You need to try out lots of different techniques to be sure of what you do and do not like. No regrets in giving this a try, but I absolutely do not expect to have a high-level production of hand-built work coming out of my studio. All that said, I want to clarify that there's not anything wrong with hand building. I actually really love a hand-built square pot. I just personally don't enjoy the process of making them myself. My clay store people told me that this clay is heat resistant and can be used to make oven and flameware. To be clear, I'm not planning to make any cookware today, but I will talk briefly about it as I'm sure it's a hot topic for many people. The mica in this clay adds to resistance of the clay to thermal shock, which adds to this clay's resistance to cracking from uneven heating. In most cases, when we put a pot in the oven or on the stove, the heat is affecting the ceramic in an uneven way as the food is cooking and the location of the heat source changes the way that the heat is distributed across the cooking vessel. All that said, you still have to be careful when you're applying heat to a mica clay cooking pot. You want to heat your pot slowly to avoid any sudden thermal shocks, such as pouring a cold liquid into a hot pot or putting a cool pot directly onto a flame. Low and slow simmering heat is best if you plan to make and use cookware made from micaceous clay. A couple final notes on mica cookware: they are not microwave or dishwasher compatible. To clean them, you want to hand wash them with warm water and baking soda and don't use soap. Soap can have a negative effect on the seasoning of the pottery and can be absorbed into the pot itself. After washing, you want to pat the pot dry lightly and coat the inside and outside with some kind of oil. Over time, your pot is going to season or take on the flavors of the food that you cook in it. So it's best to have a spicy food pot and a not spicy food pot, because once you put peppers into one of these, there is no going back. It's the same way with blenders. Once you make salsa, you can never use that blender to make a smoothie again without it being just a little bit spicy. All that said, I am not making cookware today. It's just an option that you have to make cookware with this clay. I'm going to be making some square and rectangular bonsai planter pots. The absorption rate of this clay is higher than 5%, and this clay does not have a saturation coefficient that is appropriate for freezing weather conditions. That said, these pots will not be safe outdoors in a freeze. If you want to learn how to test your ceramic work to see if it's safe for outdoor use in freezing conditions, check out my video on testing your absorption and saturation coefficient. These pots would be best suited for indoor or tropical plants. If you're cold, they're cold, bring them inside. Normally, I'm always working with clays that are acceptable to use in all weather conditions, but like I said, this one had gold shiny flecks in it and that got me on this special project. Because this clay is already gorgeous on its own and has the sparkly gold flecks, I'm going to fire it without any kind of glazing. Also, all my glazes are formulated for higher temperatures, so it's just easier to leave these pots unglazed to highlight the natural beauty of the mica. I fired this clay to a cone 04 because that's my normal bisque temperature. I fired a small test piece first to make sure the mica didn't burn out at that temperature, and I was happy with the results of the test, so all the work here was fired to cone 04. These pots turned out much as I expected. A couple of them warped and don't sit level without a wobble. Slabs are so persnickety. Their propensity for warping is one of the most frustrating parts of working with slabs for me. I know it's a matter of technical skill in handling them, but ugh. So anyways, this is the low fire gold mica clay from New Mexico Clay. It's white with shiny gold flecks, and we love that. It has a high absorption rate, so it's not really great for outdoor ceramics or for anything that you would probably drink or eat out of, other than the exception of making some flameware that's going to be a seasoned cooking ceramic. It's a clay for hand building, if that's something that you're into. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you'd like to help support the channel and get early access to all the things, consider becoming a member right here on YouTube or a patron over at patreon.com/bluenosetrading. You can find all of my current available ceramics on my website, bluenosetrading.com. Remember that you have great ideas that are worth exploring, drink lots of water, and I will see y'all next week.